Alrighty, yo, what is going on, everybody? It's your boy, Mr. DDG94, back with another reaction video. Today, we finna react there. WWE moments fans never thought would happen. Off rip, Vince McMahon not being part of the company no more while he's alive. That's the biggest one. You never thought we would see the day Vince would no longer be part of the company while he's still breathing. Vince was going to die working WWE. But fate had other plans, and thank God fate stepped in when it did. Because goddamn. But anyways, though, without further ado, let's get right into this. But hold on real quick. Hold on. All right, let's get right into it.
1, 2. Is this on?
In wrestling, things can change in an instant. You never say never because anything can happen, especially as time goes on, since things we thought we'd never see end up taking place.
Yeah, that was a crazy moment.
Today, we'll share some of the most famous examples as we look at moments we never thought would happen in WWE.
Yeah, that was definitely crazy. Sting in WWE
Seeing how
was
things
crazy.
ended for CM Punk in WWE, it seemed impossible that he would ever return, especially considering some of the things he said about the company in his time away.
I turned to Hunter and I said, I do not need to wrestle you. You need to wrestle me because I do not want to be here and I do not want to be anything less. I will go somewhere else and I will get more fucking over because I know I can.
Including when he joined All Elite Wrestling in 2021.
Yeah, I didn't care.
August 13th, 2005, I left professional wrestling. August 20th, 2021, I'm back.
In AEW, it seemed like Punk had found his home until it all came crashing down.
What did I ever do in this world to deserve an empty-headed fucking dumb fuck like Hangman Adam Page to go out on national television and fucking go into business for himself?
Although many things can happen and a lot can change in 9 years, including the people themselves, to see Punk return in Chicago of all places at Survivor Series 2023 seemed like the perfect script had been written.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, that was a crazy moment. When R-Truth came back, that was a crazy moment, man. That was crazy. R-Truth came back. That was crazy.
It's a little bit corny and it's a little bit cheesy and it's not going to sound like CM Punk.
That was a good day.
But I've changed.
I'm a different person. He's a different person. This is a different company.
It's one thing to not return for personal issues, but being medically disqualified is a different story. This was the case for Edge in 2011, when he was forced to retire due to a history of neck issues.
As the MRI showed that I have to retire.
His injuries were thought to be so severe, even one more bump could cause serious problems. But after seeking medical advice, getting another surgery, and working hard to get back in, there was hope.
We thought that, yes, there was minimal risk, but we ended up feeling that it was safe.
So then when Edge got physical in a WWE ring at SummerSlam 2019, it gave fans the belief we would see him wrestle again. It was a half a year later that the Rated R superstar returned to action at the 2020 Royal Rumble. It was a moment for the books and proved nothing is ever for sure in wrestling.
You think you know me?
No way.
Such a good moment. Such a good moment.
Neck surgery, and then I busted my ass. I got in the best shape of my life at 46 years old so I could step back in here and end my career on my terms. But I hope that all of you join me on this ride.
Stone Cold Steve Austin's return to the ring was a bit of a different case to Edge's. Sure, Austin also had a bad neck, but Steve voluntarily hung up his boots at WrestleMania 19. Then, despite years of speculation, fans had given up hope the Rattlesnake would ever wrestle again.
To me, just like going back for one match, be like, man, why? You know, what am I proving? If I can't be 110% Stone Cold Steve Austin, or if I couldn't have been, whatever, I'm not going to do it now. You know, it just wasn't worth doing. So I just said, man, stay away.
Yes, WrestleMania was returning to his home state of Texas in 2022, but surely the ship had sailed when it came to having a match. Steve was 57, let's not forget, and if matches against the likes of Randy Orton, CM Punk, and Brock Lesnar had never materialized, then there was no way Austin would go back on his retirement now. But in wrestling, you just never know, as Stone Cold main evented night 1 of WrestleMania 38 versus Kevin Owens. It was built up as
that was a great match. Hey,
and advertising, fans were fully expecting.
This was a fun match. This was just fun to watch, bro. This was fun to watch. Shout out to Kevin Owens for selling that match, bro. Because clearly, Stone Cold is out of his element. Stone Cold is definitely out of his prime, most definitely. I mean, of course, he's 50. He was 50 fucking 7 years old with a bad neck and bad knees. But man, that was a fun ass match, dog. Fun to watch, just fun. The only thing that ruined that shit was Vince. Vince normally takes a stunner like a champ. Here, this nigga took the Linda McMahon stunner. Oh, he took that stunner like Linda did. Nah, bruh.
A match. Austin and Owens didn't disappoint, working the throwback Attitude Era style brawl that turned back the clock.
I always said I would never come back, but then I also said if the stars ever aligned perfectly, that I would. I was killing KO out there. I truly was asking. And I told him that when we went in the back, I said, man, I can't believe you didn't throw a receipt. And he just laughed because his job was to take care of me. And this crowd is so faithful, so loyal, so rambunctious. They're behind everything you do.
Just like with the rest of his career, they say all good things must come to an end. However, The Undertaker's mythical WrestleMania streak seemed as though it would live forever. It felt like it would only stop once the Phenom retires, seemingly undefeated on the grandest stage.
You know, it was whoever was the main event, and then there was the streak. You know, those two things were the two kind of the most important things of WrestleMania.
The WWE deemed 2014 as
the person that should have ended it was Randy. It's not even up for debate. Randy should have ended the streak in 05 or at WrestleMania 21. WrestleMania 21, Randy should have ended the streak. If not Randy, you had Edge, you had Triple H twice. That Shawn Michaels match, the 25 match, you could have went either way on that one. I wouldn't have been mad at it. That match was so good, you couldn't even be mad if Shawn won that match. Because that match was so fucking good at WrestleMania 25. But outside of those, they should have definitely let Randy end it. Because Randy could have took on a life of his own, especially with the character that he developed into later on down the line when he finally got his hands on that WWE chip. Oh my God. And then he would have had the Undertaker streak oh my God, he could have rode that. Randy, WWE dropped the ball. Vince dropped the ball on that one.
The Taker would finally lose at Mania. Regardless if you agreed with the decision, you'll always remember where you were and how you felt. When the referee hit
I'm not mad at the decision of Brock Lesnar though, because I love what they did with it afterwards. That's the one thing that I love about it. Is the one thing that they did afterwards with it is that they made sure that Brock Lesnar became a fucking problem in the WWE. Having him squash John Cena to become champion, having him beat the shit out of every fucking body after he beat the streak. Yo, they definitely gave it to the right person to run with it. But I still say Randy should have ended it, bro.
Matt for 3 as Brock Lesnar pinned the
But they did choose him. This was a great pick, though. If there was somebody who, but believably, if there was somebody that could end the streak, it would be Brock Lesnar. Believable wise.
Yea, though I walk through the valley of the dead man, I fear no evil, for I walk beside Brock Lesnar.
And I went, holy shit, 21-1. How do we make that happen? And Brock just said, we're going to conquer that fucking streak at WrestleMania.
Who
in the wrestling industry it has enough credentials to actually break the streak. Really, honestly, is there somebody else out there? No, I don't think so.
The Undertaker main evented numerous WrestleManias in his time, a feat that until 2019 no female wrestler had ever achieved. This was the year the stars aligned and everything came together, to the point where there was absolutely no question that the women had to headline Mania. It seemed like it was only a matter of time given the waves that had been made in previous years. It all just needed that one big story, and Becky Lynch's ascent was exactly that. Becky believed when no one else did that she could main event WrestleMania.
I said to my friend, I said, I'm gonna main event WrestleMania one day, and I said, just watch me.
In 2018, Lynch's character developed, and fans got behind her to where she was now the hottest star in the company.
Becky Lynch takes it all tonight!
Since 2019, women have main evented WrestleMania again, with Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks closing out night one of the event in 2021.
Now Belair powering Banks up. KOD!
Great match. Great match. My black sister.
Greatest women's champions of all time made her WWE return at the 2022 Royal Rumble. For one night only, Mickie James was back in a WWE ring, doing so whilst being signed to TNA and holding the Impact Women's Championship.
To create history in 2022 in the world of wrestling is hard to do. I honestly didn't think I'd ever be back here again.
This opened the door for both companies to begin a working relationship, although it took a few years for this to truly come to fruition.
TNA Knockouts champion Jordan Grace!
In 2024, NXT and TNA began a talent exchange with various wrestlers going back and forth. This would have been unfathomable back in say 2010, but TNA were now a very different company. Plus WWE were under new ownership too.
It's exciting to just be able to branch out. I'm not going to use all the cliched terms about what door people go through or anything like that. Because
This has to be one of the biggest matches in NXT history!
Oh, yeah!
Say his name and he appears. Joe Hendry is here in NXT.
This wasn't actually the first time the two promotions did business of this nature. Back in 2012, we saw Christian Cage return to TNA for one night. This was because the company had allowed Ric Flair to appear at the WWE Hall of Fame so he could be inducted as part of the Four Horsemen. Speaking of the Hall of Fame, and one of the last people we'd expect to see being inducted, given everything that had happened between him and WWE, we're talking about TNA's founder Jeff Jarrett, who famously held up WWF for $300,000 on his last night with the company at No Mercy 1999, before showing up on WCW Monday Nitro the next day. Then when he was publicly fired on TV after the WWF acquired WCW, Jarrett used some of the money he saved from holding up the Federation to start TNA in 2002. Jeff departed TNA in 2014 and successfully completed WWE-sponsored rehab in 2017. With his life turned around, Jarrett entered the 2018 Hall of Fame.
But hypothetically speaking, house phone rings, you look at the caller ID, and there's a 203 area code, but we want you back on the big show. You'd have to at least consider that, right?
Absolutely. I mean, consider it is you got to consider any and all options.
Well, I guess you could say it's official now, right?
Double J returned to the company full-time the next year as a backstage producer. Jarrett's return is proof that time heals all wounds in wrestling. Perhaps nothing embodied this more than when the Ultimate Warrior came back in 2014. Like Jeff, the Warrior went into the Hall of Fame.
RIP the Ultimate Warrior, man.
They announced the Warrior would be a pre-order bonus in the upcoming WWE video game.
You just engage the battle as the Ultimate Warrior.
Warrior had also held WWF up for money when he threatened to no-show the 1991 SummerSlam unless he was given a contract equal to that of Hulk Hogan. Warrior worked the show but was later suspended and fired for breach of contract following a legal battle. Warrior returned in both 1992 and 1996, but it just wasn't the same, especially in 96. On both occasions, it wasn't long till he was gone again.
He wasn't as good as I remember him, because things had changed.
He was not going to sell lots of merchandise. We don't need him on our roster.
The self-destruction of the Ultimate Warrior hit piece DVD, put out by WWE in 2005, appeared to be the nail in the coffin for Warrior's chances of ever returning.
Have they ever once approached you about coming back?
98 was the last time they approached me for an offer that's bigger than the money guys are making today.
What led to you not accepting it? The previous disrespect?
Yeah.
But 9 years on, it was time for the Warrior to come back. He didn't know how long he had left. Plus, the WWE were eager to reconcile, and so the Ultimate Warrior headlined the Hall of Fame class of 2014.
Warrior went around, he made amends with some of the talent that was there. He was on his best behavior.
He cut an emotional promo on the next night on Raw that eerily foretold his demise.
I am Ultimate Warrior. You are the Ultimate Warrior fans. The spirit of Ultimate Warrior will run forever.
As just a day later, the Warrior tragically passed away following a heart attack, age 54. Bret Hart's return story is similar to the Warrior's in that the Hitman's also involved going into the Hall of Fame.
2006 or 2007 asked me if I would ever go back to WWF. And I would have told him never in a million years.
The WWE had planned to put out another hit piece DVD similar to the Warriors, this time about Bret, where it would be called Screwed.
I would never have anything to do with anything called Screwed. Like, I would just never, I didn't have you guys make money off what you did to me. Like,
however, these plans were shelved in favor of a much more positive DVD once the Excellence of Execution agreed to be involved. Following the Hall of Fame, we wouldn't see Bret on WWE programming again until 2010. This after the Hitman agreed to return for a match at the upcoming WrestleMania. Before that, Bret requested that he and longtime rival Shawn Michaels bury the hatchet in a segment live on Raw.
I remember Shawn said he was too scared to call me, and so he never called me, and it never got resolved. I remember saying, I just want to see him in person, and we'll bury the hatchet. When I saw Shawn, he was in the catering, I believe. And I remember I said, just stop. Let's do it in the ring.
Given all that had been said and everything that had gone down between the two, it was surreal to see them finally make amends.
When Shawn hugged me, he told me, he goes, I'm so sorry. So sorry for everything that happened. Shawn and I made a peace that was very real. And I'm proud of that. Proud that I dug deep into my own sort of soul and said, I'll make peace.
Hey man, if Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart can bury their hatchet, man, Drake and Kendrick can bury their hatchet sometime in the near future. I can't say it for right now, but right now, fuck no. But somewhere down the line, 2020, 30, hopefully them two can bury their hatchet, man.
With this guy, even though I wasn't sure if it was the right thing to do. Since we buried the hatchet that day, he's always been pretty respectful and been pretty honest with me.
When we think of all the things Eric Bischoff did to gain leverage on the WWF during the Monday Night Wars.
Remember back when Raw was taped every other week and Nitro was live? And I decided to go on the air 2 minutes before Raw, and I gave away everything that happened on Raw so you people didn't have to watch it.
Shawn Michaels beat the big guy with a super kick he couldn't earn a green belt with in a local YMCA.
Seeing him show up on WWE television in the summer of 2002 was a true OMG moment. The company had previously tried to bring Eric in for the invasion angle, shortly after WCW closed its doors. However, Bischoff said no since there were no concrete plans for what his role would be. A year later though, Eric agreed to come in as Raw general manager. The old saying, if you can't beat them, join them, rings true here. But since WWE were the only game in town, for Bischoff it was an easy decision.
Nitro beat Raw 84 weeks in a row. And I came this close to putting this company out of business. I am here to put the E in WWE.
Eric's most famous feud in WWE came against Stone Cold, someone who Bischoff famously fired in WCW. The program with Eric was a fresh start for Austin after the difficult year he had in 2002, once he turned babyface again. Steve's heel turn in 2001 completely shocked the wrestling world. Seeing the man that helped WWF reach the pinnacle by raging against the authority, only to sign with the regime, just didn't sit right with people.
They're shaking hands! Stone Cold is shaking hands! We're saving himself!
Stone Cold Steve Austin has sold his soul for the WWF title!
Wait a minute! What the hell is Austin doing?
Man, this is too much, Cole.
Heartless! Heartless! Rattlesnake!
Austin's relentless!
A great American, a great man is
He abused the shit out of Lita.
Well, Lita did not deserve that.
Even though the turn led to some good character development for the Rattlesnake, fans simply refused to boo him. The night after Survivor Series 2001 acted as a nice reset for the WWF. The old Stone Cold was back, and we were all happy to see the back of the invasion angle.
Business has picked up. Business has changed.
Perhaps the only heel turn that exceeds Austin in terms of scale is Hulk Hogan in 1996. The Hulkster was the most logical choice to be the third man to Hall and Nash, forming the New World Order. Hogan came down the ramp, dropped the leg on Macho Man, and the rest is history.
Yep. One of the greatest heel turns to ever fucking happen.
You can call this the New World Order of Wrestling, brother.
He literally left the Red Sox to go to the Yankees.
When we think of historic moments in modern times that shook the industry, then look no further than Cody Rhodes' return to WWE at WrestleMania 38. Things had ended badly during his previous run with the company, plus Cody had been one of the EVPs that started with All Elite Wrestling. The American Nightmare also wasn't shy in taking digs at WWE.
But this isn't like the other wrestling company we came from. This isn't an invisible wall right here. I could easily step through. And I know we're not in the business of renaming people like Gunner McGillibuddy or whatever the hell it is. It's about the 14 years it took me to go from undesirable to un-goddamn deniable.
An undisclosed personal issue resulted in Rhodes letting his AEW contract expire.
Someone told me to save this promo, but I honestly don't know if I'm gonna get the chance, so I'm gonna do it now.
I am working here without a contract. I'm not even on payroll anymore. I'm working here on a handshake deal.
From there, it was clear he was going back to WWE. At WrestleMania, Cody made an epic return that continued his incredible story arc in wrestling.
Wrestling has more
I stumbled across this quote. It said, "A man often finds his destiny on the path he takes to avoid it." Everyone thinks the decision to return to WWE was difficult. It was not.
When the time came, hey, do you want to do this? Even though I never thought it would happen, it's the easiest decision I've ever made because maybe I'm a slow learner, but I think I'm the best wrestler in the entire world. I really do, but the only way to prove it is be here and beat the best. And that's no disrespect to anybody else. It was time for me to come back.
Now, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to check out a similar video of 25 minutes of wrestlers who got into real fights backstage. Hope you
Alrighty, man, that's just gonna about do it for this one, man. Most definitely, man, some of the best, oh my god, we never thought this would happen moments. Most definitely, man, this very good video. Shout out to not Wrestling, but Wrestling Flashback. Almost got your name wrong. Shout out to Wrestling Flashback, man, for letting reactors react to their videos, man. I appreciate it, man, so much, man. Shout out to Wrestling Flashback. Without further ado, I will see you all in the next video. Till then, peace out.